Hello everyone and welcome to lecture 2, my first C program. I am Dr. Mangesh Joshi, Department of Mechanical Engineering. I hope you have gone through the previous lecture, that is lecture 1. So if you have not gone through lecture 1, please do visit lecture 1 video because that is a prerequisite for this lecture. So these are the contents of lecture number 2. So we will revise the different types of variables. Then we will see variable declaration. Then we will see variable definition. Then we will see compile time and runtime variable definition. Then we will see the use of Printf and scanf functions. So let us quickly revise the different types of variable. This was already discussed in previous lecture. So mainly in C language there are 3 different types of data types. One is integer represented by int, having examples age, count, roll number or year. Second data type is float represented by float, examples area, height, weight, CGPA. Anything where decimal points are there, it is nothing but float. Then third is character represented by char. So it may include a single character, maybe MF. Then there is char array of characters represented by like this, char in square bracket the size of array to represent the strings, name, address, etc. Then we will come to point number 2, that is variable declaration. So variable declaration in programming refers to the process of specifying the name and type of variable that will be used in the program. So what it does basically, so this informs the compiler about variable's name and the kind of data it will store. So for example, this int age and semicolon. So this means you are declaring age variable of integer type. So this is nothing but telling compiler that a variable age is of int type, integer type. This is called as variable declaration of type int. Second example is declaring 2 variables in the same line, that is 2 variable declaration of type int. So you can declare 2 variables in one sentence or statement. So int age comma count. So you are declaring 2 variables age and count of integer type. Similarly, you can declare CGPA variable of float type. Similarly, combined declaration CGPA and SGPA of float type. Then next is variable definition. But before that, I will also give example of character. Suppose you want to have a character variable char gender. So you can have a character variable as well, gender, or you want to have array of characters. Array of character means a group of characters. So you can declare an array of characters like this. This is the syntax. Suppose 30. So this name will hold 30 characters, array of 30 characters, group of 30 characters. So this gender will only hold 1 letter, right? And name will hold 30 letters, 30 characters. Next comes variable definition. So variable definition goes a step further than a declaration by also providing the value to a variable. This is also called as assignment of the variable. You are assigning a value to a variable. So when you define a variable, you not only declare it but also allocate storage and can initialize it with a value. So let us see different examples. You have declared age variable of integer type, and now you are assigning the value to the age variable, that is 10. So this is called as variable definition. You are providing a value to an already declared variable. Now the next statement shows the combined declaration and definition. So here int age equals to 10 comma count equals to 0. So you have defined one more variable, count. So here is one more variable, that is int count, or not here, you are declaring it here only. So you are declaring age variable and assigning value 10 to it. You are declaring count variable and assigning value 0 to it. So this is combined declaration and definition, right? So here it is separate. This is declaration, this is definition, this statement is combined. Similarly, you can define a float variable and assign a value to it. Similarly, you can define a character variable and assign a value to it. Now suppose I will show you the example of char. Suppose you have declared a char variable of gender. So this is variable declaration, right? And you have assigned a value gender equals to, in single quote, m. So this gender variable will be assigned with a single variable, that is m, male, for male, in single quotes. So in this way you can define a variable. Now let us understand printf function. You have already seen printf function in a very short detail, that is you have only seen printf function up to this here only. But now what if you want to print some value on the screen which is already stored in some variables? The syntax is given over here. You first write printf, then double quote, then text to be displayed on the screen will be here, then double quote complete. So inside double quote, whatever text is there, it will be printed as it is on the screen, then followed by a comma, then you can list the variables. This is the basic, very basic syntax of printf function. Now there is something called as a placeholder or format specifier. So let us quickly see this. Now suppose I want to print printf my age is. So let us say I am writing 17 or 21 something, right? And here I want to print the age. So now the age, let us assume that age variable is already declared and already defined. So let us say I have given a value age to, let's say 20. I have declared this variable of integer type, int age, and the value I have assigned it to 20, right? So what you will feel in this space provided over here, so that will depend on which variable you want to print. So if the variable you want to print, so age in this case, this is the variable you want to print. If the variable you want to print is integer, if it is integer, then you will write %d over here, right? If the variable is float variable, so instead of float, instead of age, suppose you want to print a CGPA. So CGPA is basically a float type float type data, right? So let us say you want to print a CGPA of a student. So CGPA is nothing but a float type of data. It will involve integers, right? So here for float type of data you will write %f in the blank space provided. So what it will ultimately print? It will ultimately print my age is, suppose CGPA value is 9.50 for example. So it will print my age is 9.50 on the screen, right? So similarly, depending on the type of variable used, you can change this placeholder or format specifier. Suppose you want to print something like printf, and you want to print that suppose 20 is my age. So in that case %d will be put over here, %d is my age, double quote complete, comma, and here age variable followed by a semicolon. So this will print 20 is my age. So depending on where you want to place this placeholder or format specifier, you can print the desired output. So suppose, then what is this 0.1f? So instead of %f, if you write %.1f, it prints the floating point number with one decimal place only. So means suppose if the CGPA is 9.875 and you write %f here, so it will 0.1f, not %f, 0.1f. %.1f. So it will only print 9.8, or it may round up it to 9.9. If you print 0.2f, then it will print 9.88 or simply 9.87. So depending on the rounding of procedure, it will print only up to 1 decimal places for %1f and 2 decimal places for %.2f. Suppose you want to display a character. So again the same thing, instead of %d you will write %c, and if you want to display the string, that is number of characters of array of characters, in that case you will write %s. So this is a basic printf function which can be used. Let us move on further. So let us see a program which adds two integer numbers. So I have included stdio.h and included conio.h, standard input output.h, and console io.h. Then void main, where void is the return type, main is the function name. Here main function will start. Then I have declared and defined one variable here. So num1 is of integer type, and I have assigned the value 10 to num1, which is of integer type. Similarly, I have declared and defined num2 with the value 20, and I have declared one more variable addition to store the addition of num1 and num2. So here the addition is being done, num1 plus num2. So num1's value is 10, num2's value is 20. So the 30 total, this comes out to be 30. So 30 will get stored in the addition. variable, and now you want to print the value of this addition. So I have used printf function. Now since the addition variable is of integer type, so I have written over here addition of two numbers is equal to, this will be printed as it is inside the double quotes, and %d. Why %d? Because addition variable is of integer type, so that's why %d. So it will display something like this, and finally the getch to get a character. So let us see how this program will be executed. So it will simply display addition of two numbers is equals to 30 on the screen. Let us see one more program. Again the same program, addition of two numbers. Here combined declaration is done for A and B. So let us see what are these. So here integer A is declared and defined of value 10 and of integer type. Similarly B equals to 20 of integer type and value 20. Here some integer or some int variable is declared of type integer. Then some int is stored with addition of A plus B, which is nothing but 30. So we have already done this in the previous slide. So it will display the addition of two integer is 30. You can see over here the dummy's monitor is there, screen is there. So addition of two integer equals to 30. It will print like this. In the second case, I have declared C and D as float variables, and I have declared one more variable sum float to store the addition of float numbers. Sum float is equals to C plus D. Now printf addition of two floats is equals to %.2f, means now it will only display two decimals after decimal point, two numbers after decimal point. So you can see that it has printed addition of two floats is equal to 50.75, right? This is \n. So that's why this is printed over in the next line. We have already covered this in the previous lecture. So you can see that now there will be cursor which is waiting due to this getch. If we press that getch, the program will terminate. So this is the simple program demonstrating addition of two integers and addition of two float variables. So you can see that here is %d and here is %.2f. Similarly, you can do with characters. Now we have seen providing a value to a variable, or we have seen variable definition, which is nothing but defining a value to a variable. So there are basically two ways to define a value to a variable. So one is during compile time. We have already seen this. We have provided the value during we are writing that code or during compilation of the code. So that's why it is called as compile time definition of variable. But there is always a necessity where you require value to be obtained from the user, such as user choices. For example, press 1 to do something, press 2 to do something, likewise. So for that reason, to obtain value from user, we take the help of scanf function, right, which is used to get value from user for user input. So let us say, and this is called as runtime definition of a variable, because the value is provided to a variable during the runtime of the program. That's why it is called as runtime assignment or runtime definition, which is used with the scanf function. So let us see what is scanf function. So scanf function in C is used to read formatted input from the keyboard. It allows you to read data into variables or assign values to variables according to specified format specifier. Specified format specifier means %d, %f likewise. So let us see now. We have replaced the definition part of compile time from the previous program. Now we will assign the values to the declared variables during runtime. So how it is done? So this is the addition of two integers. This is the comment statement, which is done by 2 // hash include stdio.h, hash include con.io.h, void main. Then we have declared three variables of integer type num1, num2, addition. So now here you are requesting user to enter two numbers which will be added. So that's why this printf statement is there. So whatever inside the double quotes, it will be printed as it is. So it will be, you can see that here enter two numbers is printed as it is. So suppose user entered 560 and 10. So how to scanf? So the syntax is very simple, just like your printf function. So if you want, let us compare this two syntaxes. Printf, you were writing, suppose my age is %d double quotes h, right, for printf. Now what the change will occur for scanf? So there will be scanf, there will be same double quotes, there will be same %d. So just remember one thing, that there will be no text. Likewise in the print, we used to print my name is %d or my age is %d. So there will be no text other than %d, %f, %c, %s likewise. So scanf in double quotes %d, then similar comma, then similar age. Only difference is you have to give here ampersand, right, so that the value will get stored in the address of h, wherever the age is stored likewise. So similarly, for based on this syntax, you can get multiple values from user at the same time. So suppose I want to have two integer values num1, num2 from the user at the same time in the same statement. So that's why I have written %d, which will be for this first number, then second %d for this number. You can also have the combinations of different variables. That is, suppose first number you want to enter is %d of integer type. Second number you could enter of float type. So the first number you may give like h, then comma, ampersand h and ampersand cgpa. So the whatever the first number after comma, it will go to here, first format specifier, and second number will go to second format specifier. So you can have multiple combinations. You can get any number of numbers in the same scanf statement. You can also have a matrix. You can also have 10 numbers, 20 numbers, any number, but depending on number of input variables, you have to give corresponding format specifier to scan these numbers. So suppose user enters 560. So 560 will go in num1, and then the user enters 10. So 10 will go to num2, and result of addition is 570. So the output of this statement is 570. And finally you want to print the addition. So as we know that addition is of integer types, that's why printf double quotes addition equals to %d, and then addition means additions variable stores 570 as addition. Hence you can clearly see that addition equals to 570 is printed. So likewise you can use the printf statement as well as scanf statement in your variety of programs. So there can be variations. I just told you that there can be variations in this scanf function. So I will just read this program, what it does. So hash include stdio.h, which are standard library files, header files that we have to include. Then void main, curly bracket start. Then I have declared 4 variables. You can see integer age, float height, char initial, and char name. So this name is a character array. Array means group of letters or group of characters. So this name variable can hold 50 characters, right? So it will be all these 4 variables are declared. Then printf, enter your age. So you can see that printf statement is appeared on the screen. So suppose user enters 36. So the age is assigned with value of 36. Then secondly, enter your height. So you can see that the text is as it is printed on the screen. Enter your height. Suppose user enters 5.11. So height will become 5.11. Suppose user, next is enter your initial. So suppose user enter R. So it reads a single character. Even if you enter 54 characters, suppose you write Arahul, so it will only store the first letter. Even if you write Rahul, so it will not consider AHUL. It will read a single character because here it is written %C, right? And what is the variation now? Next is enter your name. Suppose user enters Rajat, right? So, and we want to have complete name. So you can see that it is written %S. S stands for string. S stands for string. So then followed by name. Remember one point, that there will be no ampersand for scanning the string. Only for scanning character, for scanning integer and scanning float, there is use of ampersand, right? For taking the value of string or character array, you need not to have this ampersand over here, right? So just remember this thing. So suppose user enter Rajat in place of name, and now you want to print. So see the first print statement, your age is, right? Since the age is of integer type, here I have written %D. So it is printed your age is 36. Then it is \n. So it will now be printed on the next line. Next is your height is %.2f height. So now it is displaying your height is 5.11. Then next, your initial is %C initial. So it is displaying your initial is R. And finally, your name is %S name. So your name is Rajat. And finally, get ch. So in this way, you can vary the different types of variables. You can define it either in runtime or in compile time. And depending on the type of variable, you can use %C, %S, %D, or %.2f, or %f, or %4f. Likewise. So what are the lecture outcomes? So I hope you have understood the different types of variables. I hope you understood the variable declaration, that is telling the compiler that what is the type of the variable. I hope you have understood variable definition, that is providing a value to a variable during compile time as well as during runtime. And finally, I hope you have understood the printf function and scanf function, right? So please practice because in the coding it all depends on how much practice you do, right? So just practice as much as possible and try to practice this printf, scanf. More you practice, more your syntax errors will be resolved, right? So thank you for watching and keep learning. If you have any queries, you can comment. Have a good day.